Hello, welcome to the Watch Spot. I am Kamurai. Things and stuff and things, and I've got it all nice, orderly today, and hopefully, I don't forget anything or draw on too long about any one particular thing. First thing I do want to mention is on the spot, Rooster Teeth. I realize I mention this every week, but I want it to keep mentioning because I want it to keep being a thing, and I don't want it to be canceled. It's really hard to talk about a game show though, because there's no continuity, there's no major plot points, there's no real substance to it. It's just this thing that was slightly entertaining. I think it was Barbara and I forgot his name, Michael and Lindsay versus Barbara and Carrie. There we go. So they were a new interesting team, and Michael and Lindsay were on last week, and I think we got a picture of Michael stroking his Gus. So there's that for you. Community, that's gonna be the first thing. Okay, apparently Community comes out on Tuesdays. There was this gap on Tuesdays, which is why the Watch Spot ended up going there. And they just plugged it up because I think at the time Castle wasn't running when I put it on Tuesdays, and then I hadn't started watching Switched at Birth again. And then Community, I don't think was the thing. You're idiots. Moron cats. You can't weigh that much. Knocking over tables. Fatties. Okay, so they stuck all these things in there, and now I think Weird Loners is going to come out on Tuesdays as well, which is, to me, always been a weird night for traditional media to release TV shows, but we are moving away from traditional media, and thankfully, I might add. And what I made predictions 5 years ago that everyone was going to start doing this. I didn't even check CBS. Shame on me. Am I going to have to do double duty next week? Now, CBS is the only thing that I currently watch that isn't, besides Community, that isn't on Hulu. Everything else, I'll figure it out. So there's a couple shows on Sci-Fi, like Defiance and what's the other one? Falling Skies, that I really want to catch up on, but I haven't figured out how yet. And I realize things, but I'm trying to stay as legit as possible. The only thing I've ventured into gray areas is where I'm trying to catch up on stuff. That's mostly been fully legit sources anyways. Did they get rid of... Okay, they keep promoting Mom, and I don't know. So what I'm doing right this second is I'm just going to check real quick. See the show I watch. Big Bang Theory. I'm going to watch like 3 shows. I like Elementary too, and I haven't watched it. Maybe I should go catch up on that. I actually finally hit like a dead zone. I was going to catch up on something else, but oh, good. So I did forget to catch up on Two Broke Girls, so we'll have to do that after this. Mom is on a freeze, apparently, along with, I think, Big Bang. Yep, they're still at the leftover thermodemperature. Oh, but the Skywalker Chipachá is upcoming, so apparently they're going to be back this week. So that'll be nice. So I've got an episode of... Why does that girl have a walker? Oh, geez. Okay. So I've got fun things to catch up on. So we will continue as if that's not a thing. I'll just do double duty and Two Broke Girls next week. Community. Okay, so I like Community. This is one I got on really well with. I still don't quite get Parks and Rec. All right, let's more to say that I never really got Parks and Rec. I watched like 4 seasons with like 3 laughs, and I don't understand. Like, I like everybody there. I think they're all generally funny. The show doesn't appeal to me. Whereas Community, when I finally followed the hype, I got it almost immediately. Like, I really got on board. I don't like the Jeff character. Is that his name? Jeffrey, yeah. Per se, even though I know he's kind of the main character, which I actually like that they distance from that very quickly, because it's not about him. It's about the place, and the characters happen to do things in the place. I think that's one of my favorite things about Community. This week, though, this is one I would put in the "you done fucked up" column. But if we analyze it a little bit, so let's start with the premise of what's going on here. Alison Brie's character and Chang, she talks him into going through with a audition for a school play for the Karate Kid. She ends up getting cast as Daniel's son, and the director starts being abusive towards Chang, who is forced to play Miyagi, the Asian character. For those who are completely unclear, Chang is Asian as well. So it becomes this thing of what do we do about bullying and abuse and stereotypes, etc. At the same time, the dean is asked to come out as the gay dean for publicity purposes. In exchange, he'll become part of the board. Okay, the play thing is a very somewhat serious thing, as is like the being open and gay and supportive thing. But for whatever reason, they took these things that are both kind of offensive subject matters and they flipped them on their heads. I'm trying to remember which one's which. Were you up top? Man. But the dean comes out and he's like, I'm more than gay, I'm this, and he calls himself, I think, a politician, and that causes him to lose favor, which is all fucking weird on itself. But for whatever reason, when we're looking at that, I think we're supposed to relate the two instances, because the way that happens with the play is that Chang's actually the star. He's giving tough love, and Alison Brie's character is dismissed because she tries to stand up for Chang. I think the message is supposed to be how ridiculous is all of this that's happening, and that if we just go with what is instead of trying to label or oh my god, or bully or defend based on these things and just accept everything, then we'd be better off. Which I don't know. It seems like a really, really far stretch to make the point. This is where an episode where they got really deep with their writing, and I don't think it helped them. I'm not saying that it was a bad episode, but I'm saying that it had elements of it that were a little fucked up. But let's move on to other things. Flash. Okay, I know comics, but like Flash to me is not very exciting. I just kind of will him to do Daniel Pennebaker's character half the time, and then they killed Cisco last episode, and now they had Flash run back in time, and now he's not dead. But now we're dealing with Cold and Fire Mike, whatever his name is again. Plus, now it's Cold and Gold because his sister's got a Midas gun. And then, like, Cold successfully blackmailed Barry Allen. It's like you either need to come up with a better solution to everything. It's like you had a promise not to kill anybody. Stupid. Just, I don't understand. He never should have got out from wherever he was in the first place. So, I mean, I think that's the problem with my Flash. I don't like this early origin story version of Barry Allen. I think it will be much better once he's the overconfident superhero, and he has control over his powers. And I think the only way he's going to get to that through this series, if we get there with him at all, is like once he kills Reverse Flash or whatever he ends up doing to him. that moment will be the defining marker for the Flash as a future hero. And maybe the show will be a little bit more exciting, because right now it's just kind of like, yeah, you're going to run around and be afraid of girls, right? Yeah, okay. Okay, that's what I thought. Hero, I think I got distracted last week when I was watching this, because... Oh yeah, okay. So they get married, they go on their honeymoon. Their honeymoon turns out to be a Suicide Squad mission, where the friggin' senator set up these foreign mercenaries to capture citizens of another country. It's like, really, just so he could come out the hero when he talked him down or whatever. I don't know who authorized what to happen. And we got like a lot of good backstory into Deadshot, and then they killed him. Which doesn't make any sense either. I'm willing to bet something like cloning is going to happen. They'd be like, no, we tell you when you're dead. And it was funny because he ended up saving Cutter's life, and she fell in love with him. He's like, no, I'd rather be dead. Which I think he was joking, but he ended up going through with it. Which was kind of funny. Let's see. Supernatural. I remember Crowley kidnapping the head of the Witch Coven, which is interesting, that if they wanted to, they could go and kill all these witches. Like, I don't... Like, but it doesn't get them souls, per se. And I think the witches killing people would actually send the bad ones to hell, so he'd get more souls that way. But I don't know. I think he just did it for his mom. There's the fact that she's still in a factor is bothersome, let's say. But I don't remember this Harry Carey nonsense. Like, I'm looking at the description. Like, I don't remember Sam and Deed's side of the thing. Maybe it was just that boring. I mean, it says a string of suicides committed by people with in common other than identical grisly method of death, slow, self-administrated disembowelment. So essentially, Hare Krishna, God, what's wrong with me? Seppuku, or Harry Carey, as some people call it. But so I guess it really wasn't that dramatic, because I don't remember it. I'm coming out. Okay, I was in the middle of a bunch of 1 hour episodes that day, and I think I did get fairly distracted at some point. But Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Oh yeah, if I remember right, this is all like, there's a couple different story arcs going on. We've got the jackass from like not the sleep. Oh god, I can't remember his name. The guy who traitor'd. He's running around with the girl who has the mask, and he's trying to fix her for some reason. I don't really know why. He's trying to curry favor with her, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of. But they're actually playing against Hydra, so they're actually their own Splinter Cell of things. So that's interesting on its own. Then we have Mac, and I think it was the same guy who played Stryker, but I don't know if it was for Stryker. But we had Mac and Bobby, and then Bobby's husband, the English guy. They were kidnapping him, and now they're trying to get everybody on board, because apparently they're ready to trade for trading Coulson to play somebody else in charge of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is really idiotic if it's just this one cell of S.H.I.E.L.D. left, when S.H.I.E.L.D. was such a huge organization. Not to mention, I can't figure out where this fits in with Winter Soldier, because if I remember right, by the end of Winter Soldier, I thought they were back in play. And they've got to be by the time Age of Ultron hits. So there's a balancing act there, and I'm going to have to do some research because I don't remember. So we're reaching continuity breaks for more continuity breaks. Actually, I'm sorry, internal continuity breaks for Marvel's motion picture franchise. They're already broken from the comic medium entirely. Fresh off the boat. I don't even know what to say about this episode. The guy had a really weird thing with the hair dryer. The mom had a really weird thing with not wanting to take the retail, not retailers, real estate exams because she was afraid of not being the best. And then I think the kid was trying to impress the girl, which he did fairly well, I think. But he was doing it by letting her pierce his ear and do hand henna and something else. But it was all really weird for him, and he wasn't into it. But he was trying to do the nice thing to pretend he's into it for, which is sweet, but the pragmatist will tell you that anything sweet is also stupid. And it ultimately wasn't helpful for either of them, but let's say that. Parental guidance on Melissa and Joey. Apparently, I don't know what grade his daughter's supposed to be in. She looks like she's 15, 16. But apparently the 8th grade girls came over and drank wine, and then she tried to lie her way around everything. And then apparently she was getting drunk too. And apparently it was like a really expensive bottle, so it did not go unnoticed. But I don't like, that's just such a ridiculous problem to have, that like you just don't notice a bottle of wine missing, and then it turns out it was the kids, and everyone's okay with it to some degree or another. Stupid. I'm glad I don't have alcohol in my house. I never want that scenario, but oh god, living on the street. Stop putting Baby Daddy in my queue. I've watched like enough of it to know that like I need to start from the beginning, and I probably won't get into it. The middle, the biggest thing is that everyone's anticipation for Sue getting into college, because there's that whole thing where like, oh god, don't do that. You don't know, and you get denial, and you get waitlisted, and then you get into 17 schools, even if it's not the one you wanted. But it's just part of life, and if we've been through it, we've been through it. And seeing Sue Heck go through it was kind of neat, but it really wasn't much different than like watching my friends go through, because I didn't care. Like, I picked where I wanted to go. I got in. I don't even know if I had a safety school. I think I was just like, oh, then I'll apply to community college, because I was behind anyways, because I was not set up well for that. But I remember Modern Family being stupid because Cameron wanted to dress up like a cat to sing Memories for Cats for a faculty student thing or whatever, and then like someone else wanted to do it to try to look good, but he didn't actually want to do it, so he tried to set everything to pull out, but then he fucked with Cameron's head so that he would choke on stage, and he did, and it was amusing to him, I guess, but I don't know. The Alex going crazy story was a little bit more entertaining, but someone who doesn't normally like party or whatever, and then like being like, oh, let's get a drug fruit episode, like, that's not really my bag either, so didn't really think much of that one. Okay, the guy who played Adam Monroe in Heroes, I cannot remember his name to save my life. His name on the show is apparently Clive. He is in play now in iZombie. I like the main chick. I like what she's doing with the character. Go away then. Uh, I love that we've got True Calling back, but I'm worried that Adam Monroe is going to change things rather drastically, because go the carpet. He is trying to use her to get some brains, and in fairness, he kind of got screwed on that because he was trying to do the right thing, but the guys wouldn't leave him alone, and then it was just bad timing. She should really mention it to him, and be upfront about it, but and then they can work out. But we know, regardless of what he's doing, that he has some plans in motion, because zombifying that financier, and then, which makes me curious if it's sexually transmittable or not. But setting her up and then blackmailing her, or extorting her with brains, rather. That's a really interesting way to go. And then apparently he plans on running the city, which I don't know what that means. And I wonder if he's actually going to actively start to try to turn more and more people. I think they're going to hit a critical mass, because he's not going to realize that if he turns enough people, eventually some of them are going to think to turn people on their own, and he's going to lose control. And, oh no, half the city will be under, and blah, 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 blah. Out of the closet. Okay, so One Big Happy. I'm really enjoying my new comedies. I know they're not new, but oh well, this one actually is. It's undateable, but it's not. Okay, so Prudence is still in the process of moving in, because she's kind of that weird free spirit where Lizzie. Lizzie's character is not. Which is actually really funny to see her play such a straight man. But I'm really enjoying all the characters involved here. They all have bring their own special things to it. And so, like, we actually got some good backstory into Lizzie, and like what it is to see her vulnerable at all, if ever, and why she is going to be strong with the network of characters that we have. So we're actually setting up really well for future development and future plot lines, and I'm actually really excited to see where that goes. We had some similar happen on Undateable. Between season 1 and season 2, we lost the blonde bartender. I don't think she's gone. I think she's just not a consistent character on the show anymore. And then so we ended up with this new young girl, because I think that's what they thought they were missing. Is they were missing someone who was younger than everybody else to reach to the kids, or whatever the hell you're saying these days. So everyone's kind of like parenting her because she's got a bad boyfriend and what to do. And so like they're really bringing her into the family. So we're really, again, another thing where we're solidifying the family dynamic in a support group out of our cast characters. Advert for Weird Loners. Let's see. All right, last page. Empire. I have no idea what that show is. Grimm Double Date. Who did they double date with? Oh, that's right. Okay, so this was actually really interesting. I knock on Grimm because it's not the best show. The stories and everything that they pick is really kind of weird, and I don't like the universe in general, but it has a lot of interesting aspects. We've got all the different motions with the Hex and Beast storylines in motion, and that's really exciting. The weird part was the impressive part, though, this time was actually the monster they were hunting. It was I'm not gonna try to remember what that thing was called, but it could shift, Vogue, and then it would actually be like an acid-covered slime monster. But for whatever reason, like, it was two people. It was a male and a female inhabiting the same body. And they would pull cons especially the like, oh, I'm a lonely wife. I just left my husband. To the husband busting in with a gun. You sleeping with my wife? Give me all your money routine, which doesn't make any sense. It'd be like, why would he ask for money if he's pissed that you're sleeping with his wife? But no one thinks about that when they got a gun in their face. So there's that. For whatever reason, we had a double release of Christella. And I remember the second one. What was the first one? Oh, the first one was he was Mr. Culpepper was trying to use her to sway the Hispanic favor. Apparently, like, it was all about whether or not to use your heritage to your advantage. And apparently, it didn't work anyways because they were Greeks, not Hispanics. And then we actually got to see Maddie turn herself around. I think that's going to be a big leap in the show because the show bounces a little bit between like almost a telenovela style of drama and a lot of comedy, particularly sarcastic comedy on the part of Tristella, which I'm fine with. I think that's actually fairly entertaining. But now we're going to have some more positive, less stupid humor from Maddie. And they've been slowly weeding that out of Josh, too. So they're slowly maturing the group at work as a whole. So I think as we get towards the end and we start focusing on the internship leading towards an associate position, I think we're just going to see some actual objective competition happening, and we're going to see some new sides to these characters. Because I don't know if they can all be associates or there's only one spot. I just don't know how that works for law firm internships like that. But oh God, I'll be angry. I can't wait to talk to Sid about this because the slap, we finally hit the trial in Rosie's episode. And I don't know who the last episode is going to be, but after that episode, we're going to do another mid episode number. Me and Sid, and we're going to talk this out. I'll leave this one short and sweet. I can't believe they went in and even had a case. I can't believe it wasn't dismissed with the way Rosie was just gearing to sink her own case. Amazing. But I'll leave it at that, and we'll do a further discussion with Sid later on. Last Man on Earth, another double release. I get what the point of She Drives Me Crazy was, but I can't remember a particular thing. Oh, that's what it was. Apparently Todd and Melissa are having sex a lot, and they play She Drives Me Crazy really loud so that Phil and... can't remember her name. Phil's wife, Carol, have to listen to it and no, and this was right after Melissa and Phil had a discussion about like, what if I still have feelings for you because you're a hot blonde tall lady and you're the last one of those. I'm upset all the gingers are dead. Now I think about it. Oh, now I'm sad. That would be horrible. And then the second episode, they find a cow. So now they can have milk and butter, and they're all being weird about it because those things don't exist anymore. But it actually makes you think that it actually points out that there aren't any other animals either. It's like it didn't, whatever happened didn't just wipe out the people, it wiped out the animals. And we're probably lucky it didn't wipe out all the plants. So the grocery stores, as gross as they've got to be, these guys have been living off canned foods, processed stuff for quite some time now, which probably would be fun for a little bit, but oh my God, imagine like you had nothing but canned and processed and boxed and bagged stuff, and then all of a sudden you had the chance to have a hamburger or steak or milk, and man, and it's not like they can make more cows. They don't have a bull. So it's interesting to see what's going to happen with this. And I'd like someone with like a scientific degree to show up. of some kind so that they can investigate this, because obviously none of these people are equipped to handle this. These are very run-of-the-mill, everyman characters with their own different quirks and personalities. But okay, I'll deal with that later. Let's see. Once Upon a Time's actually hitting interesting. We may be actually hitting the end of this very soon. I called it because I thought the villains were kind of like the last ditch effort, but we're on this quest to turn Emma's heart dark and find the sorcerer and find the author. And I'll go ahead and spoilers. We find the author, and that's kind of how we leave it cliffhanging. Because once we figure out what happened with the sorcerer and all the connections that happened way back in the Enchanted Forest, that's going to be the next big focus, is the author. I wouldn't say he's necessarily a villain, but he's definitely an antagonist. So we'll have to see what's happening there. And that's actually a fun bit of irony, is the author being the antagonist. But okay. Moving on to Castle, Habeas Corpse. They've solved murders on the show. I don't know if you noticed. The non-murdery part of this was the police ball. There's a talent competition or something with silly bets, and we learned that Kate has stage fright. That better come into play before the season's over. I'm just saying. And apparently they sing and have sex in the shower. But the police portion of this is very interesting. It's neat that they had to go dig up a body and then somebody jacked them for it. I will say that and leave you hanging. It's a really good show, really good episode. They solve murders and stuff, so it's hard to talk about that when there's not like a very specific plot point, because it's like, oh, I don't want to ruin the great murder that they solve, but spoilers, they tend to solve them most of the time. Let's move on. Switch to Birth. Bay finally goes out to be with Emmett in LA. Finally, we get to enact this storyline. But spoilers. Emmett's a big fat dick about it. Sky's a little bit jealous, obviously. Bay is out of place. We knew all those things going into this. The Daphne storyline is actually more interesting because she didn't fail. She got a D in her class, her very important chemistry class, and so there's a struggle, because immediately I was like, you can fucking take that again, but she's like, no, it's over, blah, 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 blah. And like, we even had this dramatic moment because I think it was Hit and Run. Travis and Liz, the lesbian one, I can't remember her name, the short dark lesbian, got hit by a car, but there's no deaf interpreter on call on the weekends. There's a video phone they're supposed to have to properly communicate. They're not doing it. The nurse is a dick talking to deaf people because she's doing everything like normal. She's not talking to them so that they can see. So Daphne has to sit there and interpret. And I would think that would be the rising moment to be like, there should be a deaf doctor here. There should be someone who knows sign language. And that's going to be me, level 9,000. She goes Super Saiyan and starts Kamehameha all over the place. But no, hopefully that all comes into play later on. But she's rekindling with the dorm hall douchebag, which I'm apprehensive about. But given that Bay and Emmett aren't going to work out based on what happens before she even goes there, someone's got to have a bad relationship going on. They keep passing the ball around. I think Ryan, the brother character, he's got it right now, or he had it, and then he passed that to Bay, and then Bay passed her up and coming hopeful relationship to Daphne. Daphne passed her, I don't know what this is, ball to the brother. It's really funny that they kind of have that formula there, but quite honestly, it's a little bit weird. I did discover something that I was very upset that I didn't know that it happened when it happened, that Kate Micucci didn't call me up herself and be like, hey, you should watch her show. Because I would have been like, Kate Micucci, I definitely will watch your show. Garfunkel and Oates has a TV series in which there are several little music videos sprinkled in this. It is, 8 episodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 8 episodes. Not each one focused on a song, but they all kind of have their own theme for that episode because it's a sitcom ultimately. But they sing, they do their stuff, and it looks like it's portrayed off events in their real life because it's about them in their real life for the show, anyways. Where they travel, they try to earn money and live the life they're living because, let's face it, it's not easy to upkeep that dream life. It's great they get to do what they do, and they even mention that in the show that they're super grateful for being able to do what they do and live off it, because not everybody can do that. You look at some people like Daniel ate the sandwich, and with that branding too, it's got to be hard. She's got to be like, people like that have to be working all the time, and it is great. It's if you love what you do, because you're going to be doing it all the time. And I wouldn't. There's some things I would like to do all the time, and oh God, given that opportunity. Oh man. So I did watch a couple movies. I didn't really understand this one so well. The United States of Leland. I watched it because of Jenna Malone. But she's not really the focus in it. She's kind of the troubled love interest. But Ryan Gosling, I think, is the main character. He likes her, and something happens with her brother, and he goes to jail because he beat up a retard. They're really detailed about everything that happened, by the way. And so it all comes down to, was it Don Cheadle? I'm getting in trouble for mixing up black guys. Samuel L. Jackson's going to yell at me. Whoever it is, it's an African American guy I like. And Don Cheadle, I was right. He just wants to write a book on him. Kevin Spacey's in this for some reason. So it's this really weird war for like self-profit and betterment of correction. And who's actually the good person and the bad person, the criminal, the alleged criminal that's there, that's been convicted, or the free person that's there trying to do things for himself. And I finally watched Bad Johnson. I don't know why this wasn't on my watch list, but you could think this would really go a lot better. It's about the guy who can never commit because he just has all these opportunities, so he doesn't turn them down. Going on about to finally commit. No, I'm sorry. That's right. He runs into an ex. She needs him to fall so hard that they ascend. So he goes to the doctor, and he can't masturbate or have sex for like 6 weeks. I think he hit somebody with his car, and then she wants to do him. I don't understand life like that. It would be great if I was that pretty, but I don't think I would want that superpower. Honestly. And so like he goes to have sex with his girlfriend for the first time, and he has teeth marks on his dick. So like this whole thing sets up into his penis becoming an actual person. Like he becomes a Ken doll, essentially. God, this is so weird. and then he has to deal with his penis as being an actual person, to the point where like he actually starts falling for somebody even though he's not having sex with them, and his penis gets mad about it, and he has to fight his penis on a rooftop. God, this is a bad movie. It was actually really funny. It was actually kind of touching. It was actually a good romantic comedy. It's for a guy. Let's call it a guy's romantic comedy. I don't like labeling things like that, but if you're a guy and you want something that's like for 12-year-olds but still a romantic comedy, this is your bet. So that was kind of interesting to see that happen. Okay, so we are on to things I'm going to watch. Two Broke Girls in just a bit. But first, I am going to end up watching Rooster Teeth Red versus Blues tomorrow, Wednesday. If you are not a Rooster Teeth sponsor. If you are a sponsor, it is up now. I've got it loaded. I'm ready to push play, and episode 1 is prologue. So apparently they've been hard at work trying to get this off, so I'll be very happy to watch that Rooster Teeth. Of course, Two Broke Girls, like I mentioned. Weird Loners is supposed to premiere tonight. I really want to see this. All the little adverts are very intriguing. The lady who was Quinn the stripper from How I Met Your Mother is very funny, very good actress. I really like her. The other girl looks familiar, but I can't place her. There's the guy, and I can't tell if he's a fat guy or if he's in a fat suit, but he looks familiar too, but I can't place him either. And then there's like the tall weird guy. I don't know. But like even if they're not like the most notable characters, even just knowing the one character and the subject matter, because it looks like a twist on Undateable, essentially. I think this is going to be a good show. Why don't you stay down there? And I think it'll be really interesting. I can't wait to be able to say something about it next week, because I definitely will. So the next thing, Louie. Louie apparently is on Hulu right now. I've watched a couple seasons. My problem with this is that I don't know where I left off. Like there's an episode with Robin Williams. There's an episode with Sarah Silverman. You would think I would remember those, but I don't. I don't remember which one's which or what. Apparently there's an episode here where he's looking for his daughter, and I think I remember that being a thing that happened, but there's a thing with the Late Show. I don't remember Chris Rock being on there, or Seinfeld. I don't remember Amy Poehler. So I probably stopped watching in season 3 somewhere. So I'm going to have to start back at season 1 just to kind of see if... Well, shit, the show's actually good enough. They're 20-minute episodes. I may just start over at the beginning just because I don't remember what the fuck is happening. I do remember the first season being very kind of like, oh, we're up, oh, we're down, oh, we're up, oh, we're down. Like there's a girl that like runs away from him and jumps on a helicopter and gives him the finger. Was that season 2, episode 2? I think that's what that was. And then there's the single mom he got on with really well. I was like, oh, they should be a thing, but yeah, these descriptions are really brief, and like I don't remember the thing where he's in Afghanistan for season 2, episode 11. I need to stop talking about these, and then we'll talk about it next week after I have a chance. I can't believe like all 4 seasons are up though. That feels rare for Hulu to do that. Normally it's like a Netflix thing. But yay, excitement stuff. I'm sure I'll have more to talk about next week. So next time, watch some stuff. You'll see me then. That's the wrong mouse. Idiot.